do what I do.
For 6 goddamn decades. Shout out to my man Hootsie. Do you hear that? Let me be clear about something. Joy Reid, Sonny Hostin, all the rest of them have lost credibility with black people. And we see now, for what you are, we see you, we know who you are. And that is simply your tools. Tools of the system. Same with Charlemagne the Griff. Somebody call him Charlemagne the Griff. They're tools. They're tools of this democratic machine that exploits our pain and profits off our loyalty. And it delivers nothing in return. And you've been complicit in perpetuating this lie. And now the very liberal people, the white folk you propped up, have exposed you. And the damage is done. See, Black America is waking up. We see the game for what it is. We see how the Democratic Party has kept us in political chains. They use fear to control us while doing nothing to empower us. And we see how the Republican Party, for the first time in decades, is gaining ground with black voters who are tired of being taken for granted. So to all you black liberals who fell for this ruse, you owe our community an apology. You owe an apology to every black man and woman you ridicule for daring to think for themselves. You owe an apology for leading us down this path of division and betrayal. Your time is up. See, we're no longer buying your rhetoric. We're no longer buying the rhetoric of these black, democratic, liberal faces of this liberal Democratic Party, and we no longer are buying the rhetoric of the liberals that are behind you. We're tired of these lies, and we're tired of these games, and we're not going to tolerate being shamed for voting our interests and thinking independently. Like Brother Malcolm X said, the political, economic, and social philosophy of black nationalism and black politics and black people means that the black man and the black woman and the black people should control the politics, and that the politicians need to be controlled by us in our community, and we need to take control back. And to you brothers and sisters who dare to think differently, the ones of you who said, you know what, I'm gonna vote my interest, I salute you. The ones who said, I'm gonna sit at home on the couch, I salute you too. You're the future of Black America. And to those who continue to play the game of deception, they know this. We see you and we will no longer follow you. The time for us to wake up has long since passed, but it's happening. And see, we're becoming the masters of our own destiny. We're unafraid, we're unapologetic, and we're unstoppable. I want to take the opportunity to really share with you all what Brother Malcolm said. So let's take a few minutes to look at this. You guys hit the #1 button.
But you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox. And a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to. But the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling. You take him for a friend.
There are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly, and therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
And I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise.
I just want to remind you all that Brother Malcolm X was not a degreed man. He was an intelligent man. He was a studied man. He was a student under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam. And he was well-versed in politics and religion and so many other subjects. He's a very intelligent man. I want you to keep that in mind. Okay, so college degrees do not always translate to intelligence. Okay, we have some very intelligent, thoughtful, learned people in our community, and don't allow these so-called educated people to usurp your own belief in what your interests are. That's what I want you all to understand. Don't let these people who come in with their PhDs and their master's degrees tell you who you should be voting for solely because they have an MS or a BS or a SCD from MSU or ASU or UH or AU or whatever university. You know what your interests are innately. So I want you guys to keep that in mind.
It's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro.
On the other hand, I think one could point to a large number of whites who have struggled for civil rights, for equality, and have got little or nothing out of it, other than quite a few bruises.
Give me an example.
Well, the large number of white students who have gone into the South, for example, working for SNCC and other organizations.
Not working for SNCC or other organizations, but working for the white political machine.
They're working for their own interests. That's what Brother Malcolm was saying. They're working for their own interests. You just there to provide cover. Shout out to Queen Lioness of Judah. Thank you so much, sister. I appreciate you. And shout out to Tisha Noor. Thank you so much.
By the voting efforts of Negroes.
Okay. Today, you could point to a large number of Negro leaders who have consistently betrayed Negroes in a whole host of areas.
They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals.
Yep. Sonny Hostin. That's who he's talking about. Okay? He's talking about Whoopi Goldberg. That's who Brother Malcolm was talking about. He's talking about Joy Reid. Okay? He's talking about Roland Martin. That's who he's talking about. He's talking about what's the name of those comedians that had something to say to us? Name them all. The chat room, name them all. Name all those actors. That's who Brother Malcolm is talking about. Okay?
These are parrots that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. You can't name me a Negro leader who has been who has betrayed Negroes, who has not been endorsed, sanctioned, subsidized, and supported by the white liberals.
That's right. Brother Malcolm let them have it. And that was shout out to the spirit and the energy of Brother Malcolm X. Now, we're not just exposing the hypocrisy of these white liberals, okay? That's not what we're doing. See, it's also the betrayal felt across the spectrum, even from the political pundits. And in our case, these comedians, Van, Crime Man Van, Sonny, Whoopi, Smiley, Magic, DL, Steve Harvey, Samuel L., all of them. That's who we also talking about. Okay? You got us running behind these white liberals, and then you got the two main ones, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, running down to Mar-a-Lago to meet Donald Trump. These are your so-called allies. This is who we supposed to fall out and be mad at our family members for, to keep these folks in power? And the funny thing is, now you got these so-called black liberals, in order to try to save face, these pundits, now they're trying to criticize these white liberals. Matter of fact, Sonny Hostin said it best. She criticized Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough for spending 90 minutes in Mar-a-Lago kissing Trump's ring finger after years of calling him a threat to democracy. We see through that. Now you see through the charade, I guess. Everybody knows this wasn't about building bridges or restarting communication. This is about saving their careers. I told you guys earlier that MSNBC is floundering. They have low ratings. And suddenly Mika Brzezinski found it convenient to cozy up to this same man who they said was a threat to democracy. See, it's not just about these two white liberals, though. It's about the greater betrayal of Black Americans by white liberals. They've used us as tools in their game of political opportunism. And for years, white liberals told us that Donald Trump was the enemy. He was the embodiment of evil. They framed him as a danger to all of our very existence. They said we was gonna be back in chains. Y'all remember that? That's very strong language. But the cold part about it, these folks bought you bought the narrative.
You would tune in to the one, if not the best, on these YouTube streets. We call him DennisSpurling. You sit back and hate watch, clocking everything he do and say, but you yelling DennisSpurling. Show some love, ain't enough going round for a black man putting it down. We talking DennisSpurling. Taking over 2025, ain't no lies. Pull up, tell all of your guys we watching DennisSpurling. You tune in to the one, if not the best, on these YouTube streets. We call him DennisSpurling. You sit back and hate watch, clocking everything he do and say, but you yelling DennisSpurling. Show some love, ain't enough going round for a black man putting it down. We talking DennisSpurling. Taking over 2025, ain't no lies. Pull up, tell all of your guys we watching DennisSpurling.
This is Uncle D, and as I always said this time, I'm out.
Almost to 10,000 followers. I want to say thank you to you guys. You know, I know God has something in store for me, and I'm going to continue to say yes.
Smooth operator. Come on, everybody. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.